Hey everybody, it's Jordan Pickleball here, and I'm excited about an unboxing we're going to be doing today. I was contacted by Doug from Bread Butter Pickleball, and they were kind enough to send me a couple paddles to review and test. Unfortunately today it's very, very rainy outside, so I thought I was going to be able to hit them around today, but we're going to have to delay those review videos just a minute. But in the meantime, I thought it would be fun to just appreciate the aesthetic of the unboxing experience and the ways that Bread Butter has made this a fun process. So today we're just going to look over their packaging and what I like about it so much. In here we have the Bread Butter Filth box. They package both paddles in this, but I just think it's nice to get that box, get that extra touch of personality to your pickleball paddle. And then inside we have a couple fun things as well. We have the Let's Get Filthy, love that. The Bread Butter paper, which is super nice. And in here they gave us a few goodies. We have the Loco and the Filth paddles, as well as some stickers. This one says Bread Butter Pickleball Co. This one as well, with a couple of paddles right here. We got ourselves a nice koozie that has a nice message there. Tennis sucks. Let's go. And then we also got, I was excited about this, the Loco hot sauce. So excited. I'm gonna have to give that a shot as well, but just appreciate it when the packaging is part of the experience. It's not just about the paddle itself, but also the fun that it is to get a new paddle. Going over the paddles, I think these are some of the best, if not the best looking paddles in the market. The Filth especially just looks so cool with that 3D kind of printed design on it. Just really clean edges, really good looking. I know this is my other candidate if we're going to talk about best looking paddles, but there's just something intentional about the design that Bread Butter does with both of these. So we'll start with the Filth and then we'll go on to the Loco and just go over these really quickly. So I really like the handle length of the Filth. I feel like you can do two-handed backhand really, really easily. I love the design. The 3D printed look is just super, super good looking. The Bread Butter on the side, just all around looking great. The handle, I know I talk about handles a lot on this channel and the handle feeling specifically, but the handle feeling is great. I'm not feeling anything exposed in there. I could be wrong on that, but at least in my first impressions, it feels really, really solid. I still have these wraps since I haven't had a chance to overgrip them yet, but it feels solid. The rest of the construction feels solid. This is a thermoform paddle at 16 millimeters. We don't have any of the edge guard issues that I've had with other paddles, at least not so far. I've hit it around a little bit yesterday, but today not so much. But I love the design. It says Bread Butter Pickleball Company, and even, I don't know if you can read that, but it says design in outer space. It's just a good looking paddle. It feels solid all around, 16 millimeters. So let's compare it to some of the other elongated paddles that I have. One of the most, I guess, easy to compare would be the Legacy Pro 16 millimeters. So let's like show those side by side and even get those lengthwise. So there is a lot of difference when you see these shapes. There's a lot more face room, it looks like, on the Legacy Pro, but a much shorter handle. I think I prefer the size of the handle on the Filth. I feel the more that you play pickleball and the more you get comfortable with it, the less you're going to be hitting here on this area anyways, and the more you're going to be utilizing moves like your two-handed backhand and taking advantage of that longer handle. So I'm going to have to hit with it, but I do feel like that's a benefit to it. As far as it goes with thickness, they're both 16 millimeters, so that's very similar, and they have very, very similar shapes. I think, yeah, for looks again though, this just knocks it out of the park. This is a 14 millimeter paddle, but this is the MX Pursuit Pro. And we're again looking at kind of similar handle lengths here. I think, man, it's hard to say. You be the judge on that. I think there's a little bit longer area to go up with the Filth, but I could be wrong. The texture and grit is very different as well. This is a pretty coarse grit. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty coarse, and this almost looks machined in some ways. It kind of has that machined look to it, and then I feel like there's a lot of up and down texture rather than more in the middle like we see on the Filth. Otherwise, very similar shapes and face area between these two paddles. And so that's good to see. Another paddle here that's going to be way different is the new gearbox elongated. And I think you'll kind of see it kind of dwarfs this paddle. It's just so big. A weird shape for an elongated with a lot more room on the bottom and a shorter handle. So probably more similar to the Legacy. But that's just a comparison between a few paddles that I happen to have around here. I think this is a great looking paddle. I do talk about it, paddle aesthetics, but I don't think I give enough credit to the importance of a paddle that looks good, because, you know, it's important to have a paddle that plays good as well. But if you can get one that does both, and I think, at least so far, it feels like this does both well. I think that's so important. I feel like this is the best looking paddle on the market. I don't think it's really that close. I think the double black diamond gives it a run for its money, but I think that this just looks so clean. It feels really solid. And for a thermoformed paddle, this has got to be one of the best constructed paddles that I've felt. So I really like it. I think the Filth is looking great and feeling great. We'll move on to the Loco, which again, it's a more understated look, but having the word Loco kind of etched out there in that carbon fiber is looking great. I love the colors of the kind of hot sauce red and yellow, almost giving fast food vibes in a little bit of ways, but I think it looks great. Again, they have that designed in outer space Bread Butter Pickleball code there, as well as the specs of this thermoformed unibody paddle. Out of the two, I'm more excited to play with this one. One, because I haven't heard a lot about it. Never seen one of these in the wild either. So I'm excited to play with this. And then secondly, I just love the hybrid shape. So I'm really excited. I have a couple hybrids to compare it to, and I think that this review will be interesting because there's two paddles in particular that I love, and I'm not sure which one this will navigate closer to. The first I've already mentioned is the double black diamond. I think that these are in similar price points, although this is a better value, at least on paper, being at $165 versus $180. And then you can also get that cheaper with discount code. But we have pretty similar designs. Let me see even handle length. I know there's a shorter handle than the Filth. Yeah, these are pretty similar all around. So I'm excited to see how they play. They feel a little bit different in hand, but they're pretty similar in weight. So I'm curious to see if this plays more like the double black diamond or other hybrid shaped paddles. And I think the other one that people are going to compare it to is the Vatic. Like I mentioned, this is a pretty good deal at $165 and even cheaper with that discount. But this has been the value paddle for so many people of 2023. So I'm curious to see how these two play. This is a 14mm variant of the Prism Flash, but let's see here. Very similar designs again, other than the thickness being a little bit different, but they are looking both very good. I feel like these both have very similar understated looks. I will give a nod to Bread and Butter. I still think that they have better implementation of branding, just having that small bit there and then on the bottom, as well as the word Loco in the carbon fiber itself. So great looking paddles all around. I'm very excited to play with them. I'm excited to see how they compare to some of the other big names on the market. And I just want to say once again, thank you, Bread and Butter, for just giving me the paddles, not saying I had to say anything good or bad about them, but rather just giving me the opportunity to review these and have a good time doing so. But so far, it's been a great experience from you guys, and I'm excited to get the full reviews out to you. God bless.